Good evening. We are doing a topic which is, I think, very popular. This topic has come up many times, and still there are questions, and I'm sure the questions are going to be many more. The topic is about free will and karma. So, we are going to tackle this subject of karma first, and then we will move on to the free will. So, let us look at the question. The question is, does the Guru use the good actions of one to offset another one's karma or bad action? Karma is a non-transferable commodity. Nobody can take one person's karma and put it in another person's account. No. There is no transaction there. Nobody can transact for another individual. And there is nothing like I have a positive karma lying in my balance, so can I give it to somebody else? It is never going to happen. We understand in this material world, everybody loves someone, someone is very dear to another person, and this object comes into the picture where you see the other person going downhill. There are lots of problems with that other person. Maybe it is emotional issues or connected to job, professional ones, whatever the case might be. Suppose it's a housewife and the working husband. The working husband has got tremendous problems at office. So the wife says, I wish I can be of some help to you. But in the material world, we have this issue where you cannot do anything whereas karma is concerned. I have explained the concept of karma in a different way. I have told you all how karma is created in the first place. All the karma is created by the King of Kings. And that King of Kings is there inside of you. And the name of this King of Kings means, you understand, the supreme Chhatrapati. So he is called the mind. Mind creates karmas like nobody's business. I can assure you one thing, the mind can control every part of your body. In a very beautiful scripture, Sri Krishna explains that all the gods are in your body. When we talk of gods outside, whereas Krishna says the gods are in your body and they are like kings of their entire domain, whatever domain that they control. But the King of Kings, the Maharajas, is the mind. He controls all these 33 crore gods. If I am mistaken, 33 crore is a very small number. there are billions, I think. Because every day one new god is born, no? So it's like that. So this King of Kings God, whom we call as the mind, creates tremendous amount of karma. He is so strong and powerful that he even induces the organs to create the karma. Think about it. The mind will tell you, shh, listen to what that person is talking about you. Go, put your ear to the wall. The ear is listening to the mind. And the poor fellow ear goes and listens. Okay? Now, ear is also a god, by the way. Let us be very clear about it. If I don't have ears, I can't hear anything. So, the auditory nerve inside is giving all the signals to this mind and saying, see, listen, this is the God, okay? This is what is happening. And he's providing information to the mind. And suppose you are caught eavesdropping, as they call it. What are you doing? What are you doing? And suppose you are caught eavesdropping. Do you know what happens? The mind says, I didn't do anything. Not me. Here you are responsible. See? And then you become responsible. But who was in charge of all this operation? Dirty mind. And this dirty mind is responsible for every action of yours. This mind is so strong that it can control all the gods possible. Not the divine consciousness. I am not talking about the divine consciousness. I am telling you about all these demigods. So many of them. They are small ones, they are big ones, they are mighty ones, and they control different domains. You may say, do you mean to say that even Shiva is controlled? Even Vishnu is controlled? Even Brahmaji is controlled? Of course, what do you think? Brahmaji used the mind and he was running after his daughter. See? Vishnu. And you think that he is not going to use his mind. Of course. The God of gods is telling Vishnu, see, you should be happy. You are a pig. You are a pig now. Enjoy your life. You can have hundreds of tiny piglets running all over you. And yes, of course, it's such a heaven to sleep in the dirt and eat it. Nobody is going to say anything because nobody looks at the dirt, no? Except unless they, now with coronavirus, they want to clean the whole place up. That's a different issue. Then even the pigs will get cleaned out. Okay. But jokes aside, Shivji. You see, Shivji's mind was also overtaken. Now, when I say Shivji's mind was also overtaken, let me assure you one thing. We are talking of King of Gods on one side, and every individual has an equally different mind. Okay, let us put it like that. These two. So Shiva also had to succumb to it. Shiva took his dead wife, Sati, and did the Tandava, the dance. Nobody could stop him. Absolutely none. Because they were all afraid of Shiva. So you can understand Shiva's powers are tremendous, but mind power is much more stronger than any god on this entire creation. And that is the reason why Krishna says, it is important to control the mind. If you control the mind, then you will be free. No karmas can happen without your permission. But mind is like a horse, is a wild horse. Everything goes. You keep on jumping here, there and making all kinds of things. And karmas get attached to you. When you die, your mind is going to be like a pocketbook. It's going to come with you. Today morning, a very unique question was asked. The question was this: Guruji, if mind is so powerful and so strong, the karma which is done by that body over there in this life, you remember, no? Yes, we were doing one question where I said all the memories get stored in one place, in the brain, somewhere, in the cortex they call it. So they are in the form of a karmic action that you have performed. Do you think that goes along with the mind to the next life? The answer is no. They go into the basic repository. Repository, you understand? The big computer. I'm telling you one thing. Even the largest computer in the world, where the storage happens, wherever that Google or Amazon and all these companies, all of them are storing data. Your karma computer, no, it has got so much of data that it will require one entire earth to fill it with. Alright? So please understand that the amount of data that you think in giga, peta, this, that, bytes, nothing. All that what your karma is going to bite you, not in small bites, big bites. So, and it is so much that whatever that you have done in this life, it gets transferred to that different place. It is that what we call as sanchit karma. Now you understood. So the next life that you take, you are not carrying that karma from this life to the next. Ask me why? The answer is very simple. You think in your next life you are going to be a human being? No. You may be a cockroach for all you know. Oh, I loved my girlfriend a lot. Okay, so that is a data in your last brain of yours. Okay, last mind of yours. You think that's going to happen next time? Next time she will be wearing a very big footwear and crushing you. For all you know. You are a cockroach. At the end of the day, she's scared of cockroaches. So you be careful. It's not going to happen to you. That data from the previous life, this life is not going to get carried to the next one for usage. No. For the next life, if you are a vermin, why would you get karma associated with a human life or something that you have done as a human being or any other thing which can get eliminated as a vermin? Think about it. No. As a vermin, you will have some other karma which you can, along with another vermin, maybe you are a female and that other one is a male. Okay, all those things you may have to, eliminate. So do you understand? The karma doesn't get carried forward that way. Not from this life to the next life. It's not transfer. No. It all goes to the central system, which is what is called sanchit. So don't think that from this to the next one. Nothing like that happens. So coming back to the story where we are right now. So karma, as whatever that you are doing, converts itself into karma because of the mind. And when the mind reacts to anything, you may say, I did not do anything, but your mind has reacted. Let us say you have given money to someone and you have done it genuinely with a very good heart. I can assure you, you have all the good intentions in the world. The question comes up, somebody says, I also gave money. Immediately your mind catches on to it. What is that person talking? Oh, he gave? You shouldn't dare to talk, I gave. But the mind may not tell the mouth to react. But it has crossed the mind. Crossed the mind. He has not given the money. I have given the money. That counter falls. Tick, tick, tick. And it is falling very fast, by the way. It says, one more karma, one more karma, one more karma. Because you just thought of it. But you have not verbalized it, you have not said things. Doesn't matter even if you have not said. Or you may come and tell me also, Guruji, I gave the money, not somebody else. Congratulations, you are a recipient of the great karmic medal. So now do you understand? The mind is the most wonderful organ and the worst of its kind also. It's a king of kings, remember this. Overcoming it and controlling it is the most important thing for anybody to do so that karmas can be eliminated. Please remember this. So, even if I do any good actions, do you think it is going to give it to somebody else? You think I can give my good actions to somebody else? Like I told you, this time you are a human being. Last time you might have been a droid, like that. Oh, Or you might be on some other planetary system for all you know. And do you think you have had any karma with anybody around you? So yesterday when we were doing the Das Bodh, it was very clearly said that husband, wife, mother, brother, sister, this one, that one, whoever, your father, they are nobody to you. Nothing to you. Why? Because they are just part of that chain. They are like logs of wood coming together. When the lumber, when the thing is going, every log comes in the way and then it goes away. It's like that. So all these parents and all are just time pass. Like they are there for some time and then they go away. They are passengers in a train, passengers in a flight, Along with you gets some more people sitting with you, like that. So I hope you understood this. So transference of your karma into somebody who is going through hell, you can't do. Because you are no way connected to that person. Even if you might be the best friend or married to that person or your father, your mother or whatever, whoever it might be. In the creation, you are no way connected to any human being. Not at all. There is no connectivity anywhere. So you can't transfer to anybody. Alright? So your good deeds are your good deeds. Your mind is going to carry it and you are going to go to either heaven or hell for that. You know that. So be ready. You pack your bag and maybe if you are going to hell, then you don't require anything. You just are naked. If you are going to heaven, take a backpack with you because you can take pictures. Nice place. Alright, so I think you got the answer. You can't transfer. So we move to the next question. The next question is, what is meant by free will? I have been asked this question a million times. What is free will? Is there anything called free will? When Guruji, you keep on talking about destiny all the time. That means I am fixed. No, I know I am going to die at this date. I know I am going to eat this. I know I am going to get married to this person. I know I am going to fall down. I am going to break my back. My brains are going to get toasted. All this you know. That is a part of destiny is what you said, correct? So Guruji will say, yes, of course, that is your destiny. You have to go through your hell. But where is free will? Well, there is a free will. The free will happens this way. Let us say you have to get married to a person. This person is an abuser. You understand abuser? Maybe he beats or maybe he does something wrong, all kinds of stuff. That is a part of destiny. You have to marry this person who is an abuser. Got it? Very good. How you lead your life with this person is very important. If that person beats you, if that person tortures you, and you are reacting exactly the way you are supposed to, think. You react the way you are programmed to react. Or you react the way which is goodness written all over. The free will is effective over there. What you are supposed to do is called destiny. There are same action can be seen from three perspectives. Three. Every action can be seen from three perspectives. The first one is called tamasic. If that person is beating you, you take a big chain or you take a big stick and beat that other person to the pulp. I say, you will rot in hell. You will go to hell. I want you to suffer badly. You are the worst person on earth. Blah, 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 blah. That is called the tamasic way. Who has told you all these things to do? The King of Kings, the mind. Now let us say we see the Rajasic way. The same action is happening. What do? I will sue you. I will go to the police. I will put you in jail. You don't know me. And you go and file a case. Restrainment, like you call it, I think that is what is called restraining order. That person can't lift his finger also after that. And if he does, we can call, in India you can call 100, and in other countries I think it is 911, and say, oh, this fellow is acting up. No. And yes, they may put him behind bars. And there is a law which tells you very clearly, even in marriage, one is called battery. You understand what a battery means? Battery doesn't mean that cells, okay? Otherwise you will say, no, okay, the battery. No, battery means battering somebody, beating someone. That is called battery. Or saying something wrong. That is also an action. And both these actions are culpable. That means police can take action. Got it? So you can say, this person put his finger on me. And they can take that person to jail. In India, it is anywhere between 3 to 5 years in jail. Gone. So, these kind of things are there. And this person who tells you is again the King of Kings, the mind. It tells you, you know the law. You know the lawyer. You know the police. You know everybody. So go and file a complaint. Let this person not do anything. Those who have seen this movie Thappad will definitely remember this scene. That is called Rajasic action. Culpable 100%. You are liable 100%. Okay? So when you are doing that action, so the same action can be taken this way, and then the third way is there. It is called Sattvic way. So your mind says, that person doesn't understand anything. He does not know. Let it be. I will talk nicely to that person and say, please don't do like this to me. You see, this person is a great martyr. Doesn't take the beating, or sometimes takes a lot of it, but yet doesn't say one word or doesn't take any action, and is the poor sufferer. Oh my God, I suffer so much. All right. Sattvic action. What are you going to get out of it? Karma. Karma is of 3 kinds. So this is again going to happen into karma. Even if you take the beating, you are going to go, have karma. Even if you have another problem, like say going to the police, or even if you beat the other person, all 3 are liable. And all 3 are culpable. You are going to get benefits out of it, see. The third one will make you what? I think I have already discussed this. The third one is going to make you a ghost. Maybe you'll go somewhere. Or you're going to become a vermin, a lowly creature. If you go to the police, you're going to become the second one. What is that? A demon. or a person who is very poor, from a very poor womb. And if you are that goody person, the third one, sattvic kind, you're going to get a good womb. Of course, you will be definitely born as a good guy with lot of money, spirituality also. Or maybe you will become a god. Wow, I'm a god. I'm joining those 33 crore guys. So you will be given some department with one small table over there. Sit over here and look after that organ which is working, okay? Which one? I think I'm going to give you an organ which doesn't work only. Appendix. Go. Watch the appendix after this. So you are the god of appendix. Think about it. Only trouble is when it starts paining, isn't it? Think about it. It's like that. So it's something like that. So did you get the point? You have the choice of doing an action whichever way your mind wants it. It is within the framework. The framework is what is called as the destiny. From here to here, which vehicle are you going to take? Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. It's in your hands. If you want to grow in this world and if you want to become enlightened, if you want to get out of this system, if you want to become free from all this, if you don't want to meet that person again in your life, then the choice is only one. Sattvic. So, you perform sattvic actions. Someday, the God upstairs who is running these gazillion things around this whole universes, I'm not saying universe, he may look at you, oh, this person seems a very good candidate for coming to me. So, okay, let's beam him up. Just imagine, he'll say, Saint Peter, beam him up. I want to see this person in my darbar. So it is something like that. So free will is the way in which you react in that situation. There is a situation. What is your reaction going to be? This or this? 3 ways of reaction. Advisable to always take the sattvic action so that you progress in your world. If you take the Rajasic or the Tamasic action, okay, you are going to go down there, straight down. So, the free will is the way in which Jesus taught, if you remember. If somebody slaps you on one cheek, he said, turns the other. Okay. By then, you must have got a lot of practice to get slapped onto the other cheek because you are so good at it, isn't it? Sattvic action, that is. So, understand this. It is in your hands which way you want to go. And who is the one who is diverting all these actions? The King of Kings, the mind. So, please remember this. The King of Kings is always directing your actions. Better to do it in a good manner than to go into the gutters. So, there is a free will. Within the framework, always remember this, within the framework. Right? Good. So now we are going to the satsang of Das Bodh. So we are doing the 4th Dashaka. Dashaka means 10. 10 chapters together. The first one is called it's called ninefold devotion. Ninefold devotion. First one is called listening. Listening to things. Right. Sri Ram. Victory to you, O Gananath. You are great because of the riches of intelligence. I pray to you to kindly help me speak the spiritual wisdom. Das Bodh is dictated by Samarth Ram Das to his disciples. His disciples wrote it down for him and it became this very beautiful text. So the first, when you have to pray to someone, you have to first pray to Ganesha. So he is praying to Ganesha and he is saying, Ganesha, please give me the spiritual wisdom to speak the right words. We bow to Sharda, the mother of Vedas, by whose grace all the 8 occult powers are gained. My mind is having inspiration to meditate because of her. The second one is Saraswati. Without her, the knowledge cannot fructify. Please remember this. So, knowing Saraswati, praying to her, which will give me the power to speak the right words, the perfect knowledge will dawn through me. We will now remember Sadguru, who is beyond and by whose blessing we begin to understand anything properly. Now, who is the Sadguru? Sadguru is the highest among the Gurus. The highest among the Gurus is called the Sadguru. The Sadguru can be Dattatreya. Got it? In my world, my Sadguru is Dattatreya. For the entire creation, the Sadguru is Krishna himself. He is the highest knowledge giver. Those who are following scriptures will know that Krishna is the one who spouted the knowledge from everybody's mouth. He himself gave the knowledge in the form of Bhagavad Gita and the various Gitas that he has given. That is the perfect knowledge. So he is the highest of the Sadgurus. So we have to remember the Sadguru who is beyond the beyond. That is, he is beyond the normal. Somebody who is never born. Somebody who is always there. That is beyond the beyond. And by whose blessing we begin to understand anything properly. It is without Krishna you can never understand anything. The listener has asked how to offer good devotion, and therefore I am telling as a matter of course what is written in some other books about him. So everybody, whether it is Samartha Ramdas or whether it is Kabir, whether it is Sai Baba, whether it is Ramana Maharshi, whether it is Ramakrishna Paramahansa, whether it is Mirabai, or whether it is Tukaram Maharaj, or any sage or saint in the world, please remember, everybody quotes the scriptures and the divine words only. Somebody who is giving you concocted knowledge, it should never be followed. See, it is like this. Somebody is telling you that there is in a galaxy far, far away, okay, there is one R2 and a D2. Don't listen to all that nonsense. You understand, in spiritual world also there are people who concoct stories after stories after stories. And they will say some story which is like on top of their brain, this happened. That one is like this. Don't listen to all that. The stories have to be authentic, coming from the scripture. A person cannot say that this scripture is not there, but I am telling you from, I get visions. Nobody gets visions. So don't listen to all that bull crap. Okay? O listener, please attend carefully to what is being spoken here as written in sacred books by hearing, which you will be pure. In chapter 5, division 7 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the verse number 23 is as follows. What are the things that a person is supposed to do? The first word of that is Shravan. Kirtan. First one is Shravan. You got to listen to everything. listen to the holy words. It is also in the form of satsang that you listen to the words. Isn't it? In a satsang, what exactly are you doing? You are listening to the words. So that is very important. So that entire verse is like that. It gives exactly 9 ways in which you can attain the ultimate. The 9 ways are: listen to the story of gods. It means Shravan. Listening to the stories, listening to the kirtans, bhajans and all those kind of things. Everything that you listen to. A satsang. That's the first one. Second one, to recite in prose and poetry such stories in public meetings. When you speak in the form of prose or you write poetry and you talk in the public or you say to another person, that is an important way of reaching God. The third one is to remember by taking the name of God, Vishnu, Krishna, Bhagwan, whatever that you feel, the highest of the gods. So taking the name of God is extremely important while remembering. So the third one. Fourth one, to do service physically, nursing, etc. What does it mean? To do service, seva bhavana, seva. You have to do service. Now the service is not to I, me, myself. You see, every idiot in this world, he says, charity begins at home. Have you heard this phrase everywhere? Charity begins at home? You idiot. Charity doesn't begin at home. You have to do charity outside. You have to go and help people. Not to yourself. In the material world, you go and help yourself. You get the best salary, get the best wife, get the best children. Of course, you can do whatever you want. But in spiritual, no. Charity is to give. So that is the first thing you got to understand. It is to do service. Fifth one, to do rituals laid down by religious books for worship of God. That means when you do different kinds of rituals. You go to temple and you do it at your home, you do in your prayer hall, wherever you have, whatever rituals that you are doing. Even while pouring water, you see, you're pouring water and showing it to sun god, okay, here I am doing it for you. This is also a ritual. You see, when you are doing your grace before meals, and in English I have to say, no, because I don't understand the other ways. So grace before meals, all those are called prayers, isn't it? Are you not praying properly? So that is what. So it is a ritual which you are doing. You are going to eat food now, so that's a ritual you do follow. Then, to bow before the image of gods or saintly people. When you bow down before gods, it's an honor, you're honoring them. And you bow down before all the sages, saints, gurus, mahatmas, great people. That is going to help you. Servitude with all humility towards God and the Guru. Seva to God and the Guru. We have already done this, so we'll do it again. Friendliness with God as well as the whole world. You got to be friends with God first and then with everybody around you. You cannot have enemies. That means you cannot utter any bad words or say anything bad against anybody. You want to become spiritually perfect, you have to say good stuff only. So friendliness with everyone. God first and then everyone. Lastly, to surrender everything, even our ego, to God. We got to surrender everything. And when you surrender everything, then God will take charge of you and then He will do whatever it is necessary for you. Devotion is spoken of as having 9 patterns which are going to be told now, but the listener must pay attention. The first way of devotion is to listen to the life story of Hari and other books as well as discourses on spiritual matters. Satsang, where you listen to the stories of God. Scriptures are being told. Their expositions are being done. Sometimes just the prayers are being done. Just person is reading through it. Doesn't matter. All this you should be doing. So, devotion's first way is to listen to it. The stories of God. Now we have done, I think for 5 or 6 years, I have done all the stories of God in the form of the book called the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please go and see those satsangs if you want to. They are available on so many channels, on YouTube and podcasts and all that. Listen to those stories of God. They are real stories. Go and listen to them. After that, I had also done Sai Sat Charitra, I have done Guru Charitra, I have done so many other scriptures. Go listen to them. When these stories are being told, they are going to heal you. They are going to give you a lot of spiritual benefits. One should make a habit of listening to the path of action, the path of ultimate doctrine, the path of yoga, and the path of desirelessness. These are different paths mentioned. If you go to the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that there is a path of knowledge, there is a path of karma, there is a path of devotion. All these paths, you can listen to them. Listening is important. We are not saying that you got to do. At least first listen to it. People have got a jabbermouth, they just keep on talking. You got to allow the other person to speak. A spiritual person needs to talk. He's giving you spiritual knowledge, so listen to it. One should listen to the merits of many religious things, various places, various charms, techniques of religious endeavor, penances, and sessions of fixed period and fixed number of japas. So these are the different things that you can listen to. Merits of many religious things. There are various religious things that you got to do. You should find out, why do we offer bale leaf to Shiva? Why do we offer tulsi leaf to Krishna? All these, you have to listen to the story somewhere, isn't it? You have to understand them. Visiting various places. Why is Banaras so famous? There is Banaras. Why is it so famous? Why is Prayag? Why is Vrindavan so famous? What is there in that? What is there in Tirupati? Why should I go there? You have to know the stories, isn't it? Charms. Various charms are there. Techniques of religious endeavor. Penances, sessions of fixed period and fixed number of japa. That means sometimes you have to do, say, 21 days something. Sometimes you do for a few months. Sometimes you do for a few hours. Some different kinds of religious activities. You may not eat food also, All these things are a part of it. So one should listen to how people observe dieting, such as to live on milk, or to observe fast, to live on fruits and only leaves or grass, or having various dieting regimens. Yes. Are you going to live on grass? Next life, I'm sure I'm going to make you a cow. Okay. Yes. Understand this. People have this habit of accepting different kinds of diets. I am on a keto diet. What keto diet? I'm a vegan. I am this. I am that. Listen to everything. Nobody says you are not supposed to listen. Listen to all the diets. Everybody, okay, very good. Very nice to hear that. End of the day, decide who you are. Are you an animal or are you a human being? Are you a demon? So you decide on your own diet after that. Correct? One should listen to how people live in hot climates, or underwater or cold climate or live in forest, how people bury themselves in the ground or always live in the sky. Now when they say bury themselves in the ground, they may be living underground, okay? If you bury yourself in the ground, you are dead. These are the stories you have to listen to. See, in my satsangs, I sometimes give answers. So in those answers also, I will talk about some different kinds of methods people use in different places. Different kinds of things are done by different kinds of people. So listening to them is okay. Nobody is saying you have to become like that. Okay? One should listen to how people repeat the name of God, how they perform penance, how they practice yoga, of tamas quality, how people do Hatha yoga and observe control, how Shaktas and persons who perform black magic behave. Of course, you got to listen to all these things. What is he saying? You should listen to the way people repeat the name of God. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. What is, how many kilos is this and what is that? People are talking like this. What is the prasad today? Do we have, sweet ones, or do we have this? Sir, you are doing a japa just now. Okay? While doing a japa, don't think about your stomach. Alright? But japas are like that. Your job is to listen. I am not saying you are supposed to follow. See, again, there is always, in the punchline is, don't follow. Listen. Listening is important. So he says, listen to this. People, what do? They perform penance. I am going to sit on those pointy chairs, Or somebody says something else. They practice yoga of tamas quality. They will take one cane and they'll beat themselves black and blue. People are there. How people do Hatha yoga. I think all the ashrams in India teach Hatha yoga only. They say, okay, you got to do this. Why? We have to teach something, isn't it? So let us teach them Hatha yoga. Why? See, the whole day, what are we going to do with these idiots? See, all those people who join the ashrams, let me assure you one thing. They have to be given some activity. Otherwise, you know what happens, There is a very beautiful saying in English. Empty mind is a devil's workshop. These guys who have nothing to do because they have never understood how mind is to be used, they sit over there and then they think, what am I to do? Oh, that girl is so pretty, you see, I need to get her number. And these kind of things happen in ashrams. You have gone to the ashram to become spiritual, not to become some junkie. No. So what the gurus of this ashram will do is they will give them some beautiful, morning you have to do this, then 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 you have to do this. And in that they will tell you meditation, 3 hours meditation. That fellow can't even do 3 minutes of meditation and you are telling him for the next 10 months you do 3 hours of meditation. You are doing something wrong. His brain is toasted. His mind is so active that in that meditation he is thinking, I am just waiting for those 10 months to get over. Once I get out, I am never going to do this again. And he never does it. Unless and until he is brainwashed into thinking that he's got to do it. That is a different story. Yesterday I was reading the Ramakrishna Paramahansa's very beautiful Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and Ramakrishna is telling one person, he says, in my place, I will not even tell you to do meditation. I won't even tell you to do pranayama because it is of no use. Got it? If Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the greatest of the sage, is saying, he must be having some brains, no? Because nobody does it. Everybody wants to do whatever they feel like. So what is Guruji telling over here? Samartha Ramdas, he is saying you have to listen to everybody. Somebody who is doing that Hatha yoga, listen to him and see how he is controlled. He is using control, you see. Observe his control. How Shaktas and the person who perform black magic behave. Ooh, you should know how they behave. See, sometimes you will find these great Babajis of this world, they will do, and from their mouth they will take out something. What are you doing? You are regurgitating some object? That is all bunkum. Don't go by that. Why do I want to get something from your gullet? Dirty one. Ah. All these activities you have to not bother your head about. But yeah, definitely, if there is a video online, please go and see. It is very funny. Like all the TikTok ones that are there, they are all very funny. Now, I should not be promoting TikTok. Okay? Alright. So, I should be promoting one of the Indian ones who has started something. Yeah. Okay. So, one should listen to how people take postures or sit in various styles. It is really very funny to see these guys sitting. The kind of postures that they do, I don't know. Even snakes will not do those postures. Bhujangasana. What do you mean by Bhujangasana? That snake is the guy who is supposed to do Bhujangasana, not you. Have you ever thought, I'm asking you this question, use that 25 paisa brain God has given you. Have you ever seen Krishna do Bhujangasana by any chance? Have you seen Sri Ram do it? Have you ever heard of Arjuna do it? You go and think backwards. You can ever think of like this, Jesus doing like this? I don't think he has ever done. So you have to observe the way these guys sit. It is very funny, and what he is saying is, listen to all these people who are talking like this. Various types, performing various miracles to spot of concentration, knowledge of the physical body and philosophy. So people are giving all kinds of philosophies. There is this like that and that thing. You should listen to all that. And YouTube is a fantastic medium to listen. Let me assure you this much. Today's day, you can see those people actually performing all these actions online. One should listen to the physiology of various bodies, various planets, and variety of the whole creation. Yeah. One should listen to the description of the moon, sun, galaxies, planets, types of clouds, 21 heavens, 7 planes below us. Yeah, astronomy is a good class, of course. One should listen to the particulars of a residence of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Indra, gods, great sages, the wind, the lord of the sea, Kuber, lord of the riches. I can assure you one thing. One is all their heavens are made of gold, diamonds, jewelries, beautiful women, wine. Everybody's heaven is like that, by the way. Nobody is living in a green, environmentally friendly house. I mean, just imagine, I'm thinking of Vishnu and he's staying in I use only recyclable bricks, Oh, I use only those naturally available colors. I don't use cement. None of our gods do that. But human beings, they are greater than gods. They want to live in these kind of houses. Why? Environmentally friendly. Okay. One should listen to the description of 9 continents, 14 worlds, position of 8 regions of the 8 directions, the forest, the gardens. Yes. One should listen to the description of the host of angels like Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, Naradas, Tumbaru, and also 8 types of heroines, and knowledge about music. Mohinis and Apsaras and all that. You go to this Southeast Asia, you will find everybody is an Apsara over there. All beautiful girls over there, all painted faces and all. They all look like Apsaras. One should listen to the knowledge of ragas, moods, percussion, beating, dance, instrumental music, auspicious time or proper time for certain actions. Of course, you have to listen to all the music that is there. I don't know about the current musicians, but at least the old time musicians, what they used to sing till today I have never understood. Especially classical to goes over my head. So for frankly speaking, I don't understand the music. So, but you should know, you should listen to it. And when you like it, you should say wawa, wawa, wawa. You can say wawa over there. It reminds me of Julia Roberts when she goes for the opera. Okay, and there she tells Richard Gere something really out of this world. Okay, Pretty Woman is the name of the movie. Right, 14 branches of knowledge, 64 arts, palmistry, body language, all techniques, auspicious time, proper time to do certain actions. One should listen to mantras, medicinal gems, techniques of preventing black magic, knowledge about occult powers, various herbs and medicines, chemicals, metals, essential elements in the physical body, and also to diagnose disease by checking the pulse rate. You have to learn all these things. I'm sorry, did I say learn? Don't learn, listen. Listening is important, no? Learning is a secondary issue. Learn we will see later on. Just now you listen. One should listen to the knowledge about which disease is caused by which fault and the treatment of a particular disease and what are the combinations of other things. One should listen to the description of various hells, various punishment given by Yama and the pains and the pleasures of hell and heaven respectively. So you have to listen to all the nice torture chambers which the devil has. Yes. And all those enjoyment things which all the gods have. You should listen to all that. Right. One should listen to 9 ways of devotion, 4 types of freedom, and how one can attain the highest spiritual status. One should listen to the similarity in the structure of the physical body and the cosmos, various arguments of philosophy and discussions, pros and cons of any problem. One should seek the knowledge of how the final liberation is achieved and various opinions about the way to achieve it. This is the first time he is saying something positive. He is saying one should seek the knowledge of liberation. The rest of the things you have to listen, but this you got to seek. One should listen to the Vedas, systems of philosophy and myths, and also the 4 spiritual truths and their explanation and how to negate all the 4 bodies. One should in their way listen to everything, but by discarding the unessential, one should select and accept that which is essential. This is called the way of listening or the path of devotion. You see, you don't have to listen. You can listen to everything, but please be selective. Like a Paramahansa. It's like you only take what is essential and important to you. Rest of it you can chuck it out. Don't bother about black magic, this, that, and all those things. Don't even bother about it. All that is of no use to you. Why do you want it? Right. One should listen to the biographies of God's incarnation and one should investigate the pure spirit. They are the signs of devotion by listening. Devotional path is important, so you have to listen to the stories of God. But the biographies of God in His incarnation by the principle and the geometrical designs of the abstract way of seeking, both are sacred. One should listen to both. You can listen to both these things. One should observe birthday, fast, perform rituals, repeat mantras or the name of God of various symbolic geometrical designs. Listen to the fame, the praise, the hymns and devotional songs of God. He's not talking of human beings, okay? Otherwise he'll say, oh, he's written over there, I can celebrate my own birthday. No, unless and until you are God Almighty, then you can celebrate. You have to celebrate birthday of Krishna. Understand this. You have to celebrate birthday of God. He's not talking about your birthdays. Got it? The above are the category of worship of the God with attributes, and in the case of the abstract, there is a discourse on spiritual life in which by negating all dualities, one should go to the root. So this is about attribute, God with attributes. Please know that this is a description of devotion by listening. In the next chapter is given the nature of telling the stories of God together with songs. So we are going to discuss that. Thus in the 4th Dashaka of Das, both in the listening between the Guru, the dialogue between the Guru and the disciple, the first chapter by the name listening is completed here. So listen to everything and take only what is necessary. Rest of the thing, check it out. Got it? So take care. Then I will see you all on Monday. But tomorrow and day after I have my 6:30 in the morning satsangs. That is for Uddhav Gita. You can join in there if you wish to. I am available. Alright? Take care. You have a great weekend ahead and take care.